Did you know that Colorado Springs recently ranked number 3 on best places to live in the entire United States? Today, we're going to dive into the whys behind it all.
Colorado Springs is not just a place to visit, it's a fantastic place to live. Whether you're moving here for work, family, or just a lifestyle change, this city offers something for everyone.
Let's talk about this huge milestone for Colorado Springs, ranking number 3 in best places to live in the entire United States. It's pretty cool to see because Colorado Springs has just been growing and growing and growing. And as most of you know, Crystal and I are both natives to this. So while some people see it as a downside, we actually see it as opportunity for more and more growth. And it's just really exciting to see.
Yeah, for sure. This ranking isn't just based on one or two things. It's a combination of a ton of different factors like quality of life, job opportunities, affordability, and overall just happiness of people that live here. People are flocking to Colorado Springs for its outdoor lifestyle, a strong economy, relaxed pace of life compared to all the big cities. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's not every day that a city moves up this high on the list, and Colorado Springs has been on this list consistently for the past several years. I think that part of that is due to some of the things that we personally like. I know for Crystal, she's talked about it before, but like how do you phrase it? Big city, small city?
It's a big city with a small town feel.
Big city, small town feel. And to us, that just means that you get to connect with your community and you can just get involved in a lot of things, but you also have the amenities of what big cities will have, whether that's restaurants or places to take the family, but you also have the outdoor adventures too. So there's lots to do in Colorado Springs.
Well, and it's just, we were just talking to a client over the weekend about how they were trying to figure out which area they want to move to, right? And Denver is a big city. It's a big city. It's a big feel. You have a ton of traffic. We were just in Denver for a family member's retirement. Congratulations, Uncle Dennis, for being 30 years with the state of Colorado. But the traffic is insane. So it feels like a big city. The venue was absolutely stunning. I could live there for sure. But it was also outside of the big city. And I think Colorado Springs is one of the big reasons why people love it is because you have all of these amenities to be able to go to, but you don't have an hour traffic jam to get to said places. Everything is just kind of local. We always joke, especially because we're in real estate, right? So we drive a lot. We show you guys a ton of different properties, so we're kind of all over. But it's about a 30-minute drive no matter really where you're going. And it's good because it's a big city, but a small town feel. And that's one of my favorite things I love about Colorado Springs.
Yeah, and the people that are complaining about all of these things, some people are new, some people have been here for forever, but you just really have to adapt. And for someone like you who might be looking at moving to Colorado Springs, you're not going to see it as changes over the past 10 years and how big the city's getting. You're going to see it as exactly how she phrased it, the small town feel with the big city amenities. So something to keep an eye out when you're looking at moving to Colorado Springs. And if you have other questions about the Colorado Springs area, we are obviously your resources. Call us, shoot us a text at 719-238-1771. We'd love to kind of show you around the city.
If you've been listening to our channel, you know that one of the biggest draws of living here in Colorado Springs is the mountain views. We talk about it all the time, and it's super easy to access any type of nature. Like Sean said, we're born and raised here, but I swear every single day when I drive into town, because we're in Peyton, so we do have a little bit of a drive, but the mountain views, it looks so beautiful no matter what. Right now with the snow, the mountains are snow-capped. I take a million mountain pictures because I'm still in awe with it. It's so beautiful, and it hits differently depending on what type of day, what time and where you're at. So mountains being surrounded by is a huge bonus.
Yeah, not only that, you'll always know which direction is west because all you have to do is look for Pikes Peak, and you'll hear the big name things like Pikes Peak and Garden of the Gods get thrown around a lot. But the cool thing is that if you just go to wherever the mountains are closest to you, you will always be able to find hiking trails and biking trails and rock climbing things to do. We don't have skiing and snowboarding right here in Colorado Springs. It's a few hour drive away, but obviously there's that as well. So I think that our son lives in Texas now. So when we go there and we enjoy the super nice weather, when we come back, even when we're flying into Colorado Springs, seeing the mountains is just always, it doesn't matter if we're gone for a day or a week or however long. When we come back, it's just that refresher of like, seeing the mountains is something that I would say is almost a non-negotiable for us, which is why we've lived in Colorado Springs for so long. It's just such an appeal. And like she said, the snow-capped mountains in spring and even into summer, they can sometimes stick around till June probably. It's just always a sight to see. And then we do live in Peyton, so on the east side we get the sunrise. Super cool to see in the morning when you're up early like me. She doesn't get it so often. But then the sunset behind Pikes Peak is always super amazing to see as well.
Yeah, I love it. I don't think we've actually talked about this one, but popular thing to do when you do either come visit or you're here living is a Pikes Peak highway, which is the most beautiful views, and it's a scenic route all the way up Pikes Peak. And it's stunning. And the cool thing is you can drive up it, or if you're like me and you get really bad anxiety going up and down mountains like that, you can take a cog rail all the way up to Pikes Peak, which is pretty cool. And I haven't been there in years, but I'm pretty sure that they have a little donut place that has really, really big reviews too, and like A+ for donuts.
I would know if it was beef jerky or chicken or steak, then I would probably be in the know, but sweets isn't my thing, so.
I love sweets. I could eat donuts every day.
One of the next things that we want to talk to you about is the proximity to Denver without actually having to live the Denver lifestyle. If you're new to our channel, or even if you've been here for a while, you've probably heard us say that Denver versus Colorado Springs, we are definitely in favor of Colorado Springs. You've already heard it in this video. We are just not fans of the population, the price points, all the crazy things that comes along with Denver. Now, if that is your lifestyle and that is exactly what you're looking for, Denver is a great option for you, don't get me wrong. But we have 2 kiddos, we have the family lifestyle, we like the peace and quiet. But being able to drive an hour to an hour and a half to go see a Broncos game or a concert or to try a really cool new restaurant, those are some of the things that we really enjoy about being able to go into Denver, but then also coming right back home.
Yeah, I mean, just like we said, we went to Denver to visit, well, it was actually Brighton, so it was about a 2-hour drive. Yeah. But we went 2 hours, visited with family, and drove 2 hours back. It made for a long day, but it's there, right? And I think, too, I always joke because, you know, most of my side of the family lives in Denver or Brighton, and I always joke they're far enough away for us to be able to kind of control when we want to visit, but not so close that they're at our doors like every other day. I love my family, I love you, but it's like a nice distance. But Denver, I mean, Denver in itself compared to Colorado Springs, it's just so different, but it's nice to be able to have it really close to where it's not like you're driving a 5-6 hour drive just to go see like a Broadway play or a Broncos game or an Avalanche game.
Oh, Richie, please, it's a long drive.
It's nice. It's nice just to be super close.
Yeah, and we have friends from all over the country, and several of them have either moved to Denver or will visit Denver when they're in town. And that's another great thing. You've probably heard us talk about the downtown Colorado Springs vibe. It's not so much of a vibe, so going to Denver just for even a day or a weekend, you can get a cheap hotel if you book somewhat in advance. Usually about 4 or 5 days, we can find one for under $200 for one night.
Oh yeah, like $115, $120.
Yes. So if you're going to go up there and you want to party and you want to do the downtown thing, but again, Denver's not your super love, you don't want to be around that all the time, go up there, book a hotel, come back to Colorado Springs, and enjoy the peace, quiet, and lack of traffic, which we are super in favor of.
Yes, agree. Let's take a moment to talk about how Colorado Springs stacks up when it comes to affordability compared to the other Colorado cities.
Yeah, Colorado Springs is the second largest city in Colorado next to Denver. But the really nice thing about it is that it's not as crazy as people think when it comes to affordability. It's one of the more expensive metros across the United States. 10 years ago, we used to be super affordable. Now we're a little bit above the average price point.
Yeah.
But while we are cheaper than places like Boulder or Denver, there are other places in town like Fountain or Grand Junction or Pueblo that you can find more affordable housing. So it really just depends on what is your lifestyle And why are you looking at relocating to the Colorado Springs or surrounding areas? Because there is a vast difference in price, but there's also a vast difference in lifestyle that comes along with that, depending on where you're looking at living.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of talk a little bit about real estate, we don't like to bore you guys with a ton of real estate stats, but we are high military, right? So if you're watching this, you may be military PCSing here to Colorado Springs, Fort Carson, Peterson, Space Force. But the nice thing is that you can buy something in Pueblo for probably half the cost that you could in Colorado Springs.
Right.
And the drive time, depending on where you're from, because for us, like 30 minutes is about average, but I know a lot of you guys live in states where an hour is okay.
Normal, right?
We talked to several of you and you're like, okay, well, I don't want to be longer than an hour away.
Right.
That gets you into Pueblo.
Yep.
And Pueblo, especially Pueblo West, is beautiful. It's very hot.
It is much hotter than Colorado Springs.
It's weird. It's literally an hour difference, but when we go there, I instantly like start sweating. And it's crazy. It's an hour difference, but
it's nice during the winter.
Yes.
Because it's 10 degrees warmer in the winter. But during the summer, Pueblo is constantly over 100 degrees.
Yeah. But then, or you can go to Fountain, and the cost of living, the cost of houses are a little bit cheaper than in Colorado Springs. So what's amazing about living here locally in Colorado and Colorado Springs and the surrounding areas is that there really is a price point kind of for anything that you're looking for. If you're more of that luxury style, you want something kind of in the millions, we have amazing properties in the Broadmoor, the farm. I mean, there's what's Black Forest, but then what's the one?
King's Deer.
King's Deer is one of my favorite places.
Yeah. There's so many options.
There's so many options, and there's really a price point for whether you're looking for a $150,000 condo or a $2.5 million house.
Yeah, and on that topic as well, obviously Colorado Springs gets a lot of attention. It's the second biggest city in Colorado, and all the military bases surrounding it make it a huge attraction. But some of the other cities, such as Peyton, where we live, Fountain, Pueblo, these are some of the smaller areas around Colorado Springs, depending on your drive time, that you can move into, and you're probably going to get a little bit more bang for your buck. The housing in Fountain is pretty neat. I went to school in Fountain many, many years ago, but to see how much that small little community has grown over the past, I would say 3 or 4 years, it's been growing for a long time, obviously, but over the last 3 or 4 years, you can just live in Fountain and do all your daily activities without having to go to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Now, they don't have music venues and things like that like we do, but you can still go to the grocery store, you can go to the gym, you can get all your shopping done without having to leave that small city. And again, the cost of living down there is going to be a little bit more bang for your buck than probably here in Colorado Springs. So again, depending on what you're looking for, Crystal and I can be your resource and kind of help you figure out which smaller areas, depending on your drive time, might be better solutions for you and your family.
Well, and along those lines too, we have a buyer right now that grew up in Fountain, right? And so they're looking to purchase, you guys, they're 22 years old.
Yeah.
They're so young, purchasing their first home, which I love. I love to help first-time home buyers. That feeling of helping them get into a home and start equity at such a young age. I wish if we could ever go back in time, that is one thing that I would do differently. I would invest in real estate way, way, way long ago. Anyway, what I love though is because we're looking at houses all in the area and security and Whitefield, and
it was a blast from the past. Like, there's my grandma's house, there's the park where we used to be hoodlums, all the fun things.
But the cool thing about the neighborhoods is they're all established. They do have new build communities, but not nearly the amount as they do in the Springs. But I love it. The homes are built a little bit older, right? But the bones are so freaking amazing. They were built differently back then to where it's not cookie cutter. You have a lot of tri-levels. You do have a lot of tri-levels. But I just love it. I love the feel of an established neighborhood, which is one of my favorite things, I think. But in Security, Whitefield, Fountain area, there's a lot of established homes in there.
For sure. So besides the things that you can do in the heart of Colorado Springs, which you've probably heard us talk about several times, I wanted to touch on some of the things that you can do within about a 2-hour drive. And one of my favorites that we actually talked about doing again this summer, the kids actually brought it up, was the Great Sand Dunes. And if you guys have not been there, it is the strangest thing ever. You go, you're driving, and then you are pretty much in a desert. And by a desert, I mean sand everywhere, sand hills everywhere. There is supposed to be a small little creek that runs through it when you first enter. It was completely dried up when we last went.
It was. I have to do some research on it because there's a certain time frame that you go to be able to catch the water.
But the sand dunes is super cool. You basically get like this boogie board and you just go out there and you walk, and then you what would you call it? Surf? Snowboard down?
Yeah, I mean, you just slide down.
You just slide down, and then you fall if you're like me. But it is one of those places within a 2-hour drive. It's going to be exhausting if you're a skier or a snowboarder and you're wanting to do something cool during the summertime. This is definitely a spot to check out. But it's super cool for just the family, for adults. You can tailgate in the parking lot. You can camp nearby.
Yeah,
there's so much stuff to do, and we really enjoyed it. So we talked about going back this summer.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things that when I was a kid, my Aunt Terry took us, me and all of her kiddos, and we went there probably like every other summer. And it's cool. And it was really neat to be able to take our kids there and have them experience the same type of fun that we did. And it's kind of weird because you literally it's a bunch of sand, these big old mountains of sand. And you're like, how can this be fun?
And it goes on forever. You think you hit the peak of one and you just keep going and go. It is a very exhausting trip.
Tons of exercise. You have to have tons of water.
Yes.
Bring like a little drawstring backpack with tons of water. Yeah. I mean, but it is a blast. And you don't have to have any expertise in anything. You can go, you can just walk up it. You can slide on your butt down. You can roll down.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool.
Something to do. If you live in Colorado, you need to do it. And if you are moving here, you're going to contact us. We're going to get you a home, and then you can celebrate going to the sand dunes. It's my favorite. Another one of my favorites. Remember, I said the sand dunes was one of them, but Glenwood Springs has to be another. My childhood memory. We used to go there all the time. Not all the time, but probably once a year. We take the kids about once a year, once every 2 years. And the drive up, it's probably about a 4-hour drive, I would say. Not necessarily a 2-hour drive.
It's a little bit.
But worth the 4-hour drive because it is absolutely stunning just to even drive there.
And that's one thing that you do. You do stay up there for a few days if you're going to go up there because of the benefits with the hot springs. If you go there, then you get the hot springs it's free, right? If you book the hotel room.
If you stay at the actual resort, yes.
Which is totally worth doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the Glenwood Hot Springs?
Natural occurring hot springs, and then there's man-made hot springs. But one of the reasons that I really like this particular place is you don't get the sulfur smell. It's a natural thing. I totally get it. But when I go for peace and tranquility and total relaxation, sulfur smell is not something that you do get used to it. It just takes a few minutes. But besides that, they have another area because we used to take the kids when they were little. They'll still go every now and then with us. But especially when they were little, they have a pool area with a diving board. And then they have a slide that goes down, but it's all hot water. It's not like you're in a regular pool. So it's super relaxing. Fun fact, in 2020, I tore my pec, and we just happened to have a trip planned already to Glenwood. Two things one I did right, one I did wrong. The water itself was super great for my rehab. Jumping off the diving board trying to do a backflip was a terrible idea. I couldn't swing my arms. I realized that immediately, and I ultimately face planted. So don't try to do that if you just recently tore something. That's not good for you. But the peace, tranquility of not only just the hot springs itself, but I think that entire little
area, yeah.
And the food there was super good. Hard to find good food in Colorado Springs, but surrounding areas, one of the best places that we've actually ever had. So we're near Glenwood.
Yeah, I think you get more mom and pop homemade restaurants.
For sure. You want to talk small cities, Glenwood's one of them.
Yeah, and that's big. I mean, and there's what I love too about Glenwood is that the Glenwood Hot Springs, you can go year round. You can go in the winter, which it's gorgeous. It has all the snow falling, and you're in a hot tub, basically a huge hot tub. Or you can go in the summer, in the spring, in the fall. And another one of my favorite places is the adventure park. And
super scary ride there.
Yeah, but all ages. You can be a toddler or, even our 19-year-old daughter still comes with us and has a blast. And so, and us as adults, we love it. They rode the scary ride. Preston and I stood back.
The one that just goes back and forth. Not the roller coaster.
No, you did the swing.
Yeah, there's
that went off of the cliff.
Yeah, there's a swing that takes you off of a mountain, basically. If it was to break, you would die for sure.
100%.
If you're a enthusiast of thrill activities, this is a must-do for sure. I did it. It was gut-wrenching for sure. I would totally do it again. But yeah, it is something that will definitely take your breath away in two ways. One, because you're terrified, and two, because the views are absolutely amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, I would never want to fall off something like that.
No. But then also, when Sean and I first started dating, we went to Glenwood Springs for one of our first little trips.
Yep.
And we went whitewater rafting.
Holy smokes.
It was awesome. We're trying to I'm not a planner, you guys. I like to procrastinate till the very end. But I also don't like to make plans, because then if for some reason your schedule like something happened within your schedule, then I'm just disappointed, and I don't like to be disappointed when we travel. So I'm like, we just kind of go with the flow. And we went on Groupon. This was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But we went on Groupon and found coupons, and it was like $40 or $50.
It was super cheap.
So we went whitewater rafting. They said it was a beginner course. That was not a beginner course.
That was the craziest part, is we had never been.
No.
And so when we were asking the questions, I can't tell you what the rankings are. There's like obviously beginner, then there's intermediate waters, and then there's like professional grade where you must be an athlete and basically to adventure through these waters. They said it was supposed to be level whatever the beginner entry level is, and it was above moderate. It was not professional grade, but the water, and because of how much moisture we had gotten that year, the waters were, and the speed was insane. There was these drunk, crazy college kids that I had to like bring into the raft that had blacked out.
He literally like had to like lift the dude up into the raft.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
They were completely trashed, which was fun for us. And our tour guide, that was even more fun.
Yeah.
He had just started, so he could not control these college kids. The college kids took reins of the entire trip. But it was super fun, something that you must check out.
Yeah.
If you're in, there's not just in Glenwood, there's whitewater rafting all over Colorado.
Yeah.
But something that you definitely have to check out.
Yeah, we like to take, several days to really be able to kind of go explore. And, those are some of our key ones that we like. But there's a million different things to do there. And those are all paid things too. There's so many different free hikes. There's so many cute we even did an escape room that the kids remember. I don't remember a lot of the details, but I guess it was in an elevator. But at that time, they made it very clear that mom did not know very much and didn't help very much.
Mom didn't help. Apparently, the kids did everything.
But yeah, Glenwood is one of our favorite spots.
And again, it's just a few hour drive. This one's a little bit more than 2 hours, but just a few hour drive from Colorado Springs. You can go up for a weekend or a midday trip, enjoy your time, and then come back again to the peace, tranquility, normal lifestyle of things to do in Colorado Springs. Yep. And the last thing that we want to touch on with this one is there are two places pretty close by where you can go, and for lack of better words, you can be gambler, you can be whoever you want to be, but there are two casino towns that are super nearby. Cripple Creek is a little bit closer. I personally like that drive a little bit more, but then your other one is going to be Monarch. It's about 15 to 20 minutes farther and in an opposite direction, still through the mountains. But either location, depending on what you're wanting to do, you're going to have a great time. Cripple Creek, they say voted loosest slots in Colorado, which I don't play slots.
I don't play slots.
You tell us, let us know what your experience is like with that. But Cripple Creek is very, very small. And I would say very, very old.
It's historic.
Very historic,
yeah.
For sure. Now, if you're going there specifically for if you're a big time gambler, this probably wouldn't be the spot. I would recommend Monarch over that. They have way newer casinos. Oftentimes when we go to Cripple Creek, they'll only have a half table open because of the dealers. They only have a certain amount of dealers. So if you're there on a Friday night, it's probably full table, but any other day, you're probably not going to get that same experience. But people still have a great time in Cripple Creek.
Yeah. When we stopped by there because we had a seller that was selling their house pretty close by. So we were like, well, why not stop in Cripple Creek and, just throw the dice a little bit. And I can't remember the name of it, but
Shamanox, the Shamanui. Robert knows what I'm talking about. It's the new casino in Cripple Creek. It's Vegas themed and it's newer.
But it was gorgeous. The decor, I'm a big decor person, but the tables, everything was like white and just really, really pretty. But there it was like very slow, just slow paced.
Yeah. And again, these are places, Cripple Creek or Monarch, if you go there even one time and you get what's called the player's card, you're probably going to get free offers to stay there because obviously they want to take your monies. Yeah, so if you go whichever direction, this is another thing. Sometimes it's cheaper for us to go up to Monarch or whichever direction, stay there for a day. We usually only stay one night if we go up there. The Monarch has an amazing steakhouse, super... I just like the vibes.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, even if you're not a gambler, obviously we're going to talk about gambling because that's what we like to do.
And we recently learned that there's lots of people from out of state that want to move to Colorado because of that.
Right.
So,
but there are so many other things to do. And in Monarch, they have an amazing spa. Their pool over kind of looks a little town, and it's gorgeous. So even if you just want to relax and then go sightsee and go through it's very mom and pop, right? And it's very historic feeling to where you can go and walk into all the little shops, all the different candy places, the wine, a ton of different stuff. So it's not just about gambling. It has a ton of history.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, on both locations, actually, when you're driving, you'll see little rivers running through. I don't know which river, but
probably the Colorado River.
You can hop on the side of the road. Well, there's like little, not really parking spots, but kind of parking spots.
Yeah, it's a Colorado parking spot in the mountains.
Yeah, and you can walk down and you can go fish. You can go just put your feet in the water. Now, obviously, during the winter, it's going to be freezing and probably be frozen. But during the spring and summer, it's so much fun. And so there is so much to do. But one of the reasons why we like those places is because you have the nature with it and you get a gamble.
Yeah, and the mom and pop shops, I would say that Cripple Creek has a little bit more, like you can go boom, 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 hit a bunch of them. We said Monarch, it's really Black Hawk.
Yeah.
Monarch is the casino that we go. So don't go to Monarch, Colorado. That's for like snowboarding and skiing.
Right.
But Black Hawk.
I didn't even think about that. We're just so used to going to.
Yeah, we say we're going to Monarch, but Monarch means Black Hawk. So yes, Black Hawk, Colorado is where you can do the casinos like Monarch and the Ameristar. Those are kind of the two bigger ones out there. So if you're looking for more table games, I would just say more entertaining, go to Black Hawk. If you're looking for all of the above, the small shops, the gambling, all of it, Cripple Creek is a little bit more historic, I would say.
I would agree with that.
So why should you move to Colorado Springs? There are so many different reasons, from the outdoor activities to the affordability, the job growth. There are tons and tons and tons of things and reasons as to why Colorado Springs should be your new home.
Well, and it just offers something for everyone, whether you're looking kind of for the quieter lifestyle, you want to be more adventurous outdoor. Literally, there's something for you.
Yeah, if you're looking at moving to Colorado Springs, or you want to more in-depth weigh the pros and cons of Colorado Springs versus Denver versus Boulder versus Pueblo, and you're looking for insider information, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love to book a one-on-one call with you to kind of talk through those differences and figure out what's right for your lifestyle. Because while we are biased and we are pro Colorado Springs, we understand that for different lifestyles, other cities might be much better for you and your family.
So you know how to get a hold of us. Give us a call, send us a text, 719-238-1771, and we will see you at the next one.